There's been a lot of talk recently about the 2+ million homeowners who have had to have forbearance that are coming out of the forbearance protection, that it's going to cause a lot of foreclosures. Stay tuned. I don't think those foreclosures are going to happen. Hey friends, it's Andy Nazaroff with the Nazaroff team. For this week's Real Estate Corner, I really wanted to re-highlight something I read that was a different approach to looking at this issue of, are we going to have a bunch of foreclosures? Over the last almost year, homeowners that have been put in financial distress due to the job situation, due to maybe contracting the COVID virus, or some other circumstance, they have had to file for forbearance, which, for lack of better words, is a sort of not forgiveness, but postponement of their mortgage payment that's due to a later date. By the way, it still means that a late is being showing up on their credit report. It still means that that money is due. But what's happened is they said, we're not going to foreclose on you. So that's why we're giving you forbearance until this certain date. Well, so the protections that the federal government has written in for these homeowners has in many cases been removed. It's expired as of the end of March. So there's a lot of talk now about foreclosures hitting the market. And in the past Real Estate Corners, I've talked about how the number one reason we're not going to have a foreclosure situation is because the majority of homeowners, whether they're in forbearance or not, have enough equity if they're in distress to be able to put their home on the market and sell it like a traditional seller. So while inventory might increase, the number of homes on the market might increase, you and I won't know them as actual forbearance type homeowners. They're going to be a traditional sell. But what's interesting, I read a couple of facts that I wanted to share with you because I think it really plays into more reasons why we're not going to see a foreclosure crisis repeat. We might see some foreclosures, but not enough. Reason number one, I found out that almost 50% of all of those that were in this forbearance situation have caught up as of the end of March. They've caught up on their payments. Several of those, about 26% of those, made payments during the forbearance period. About 15% bought all of their past payments current, and even more have refinanced and paid off everything that was due. So they're out of the situation. But here's the other reason. I just thought this logic was right on point. The banks learned a lot in the Great Recession of 2008. And they don't necessarily want to rush and get these houses back. Now, I know in some situations they might want the houses back because there's $50,000 in equity, but they don't want to deal with that. There's a lot more ways for them to make $50,000 than to take somebody's houses back. And they don't want to deal with the political pressure. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, or the CFPB, is going to give them a lot of pressure to prove that they followed every effort possible to restore that homeowner. So when you put all of those things into perspective, I found a very interesting quote from somebody I've personally met, a woman by the name of Ivy Zellman. She runs an organization called Zellman and Associates. It is one of the most esteemed economic forecasters in the industry. Banks pay her as a consultant. Big national builders hire her as a consultant. The largest real estate brokerages in the country have her on retainer because she has her thumb on the pulse of what's going on. Here's the quote I found. The likelihood of us facing a foreclosure crisis again is about 0%. I think that's pretty good information. Wanted to share it with you. I hope that finds you well. Stay patient if you're looking to buy. Inventory is definitely coming. Until next time.